Hello! Welcome to Animal on a Corner. Usually I bring a Scientology story, but guess what? I decided to bring you another story. And it's about, you guessed it, I mentioned that I was bringing a story about Gwen Shamblin Lara and the Remnant Fellowship Church. Here is her story, according to all the events. Through the early 90s till the early 2000s, Gwen Shamblin Lara was a diet guru who had her own diet workshop called the Way Down program, which was known for being peculiar. That program would have nutrition, weight loss, along with Christianity blended in all together. With her popularity and her thin appearance and her southern accent would defy her. But it's her evil side that has been in question when it showed in front of the whole world. But it is her evil side that has been in question. Oh, wait. It's her evil side, in other words, that really did her in when it showed. And everyone started to think, you know what? I don't think so. But I never heard, well, I saw a couple of her books in the past, but I never really efficiently clicked on me until I actually saw the whole thing on the internet. Well, I was doing a manuscript, and it's been 2 years now. So it's, oh, wow. And then I'm like, was this the same workshop that's a book that I saw in Massachusetts, where I grew up and lived there until the age of 26? Well, it's possible, I thought. Gwen had one older brother Oh, excuse me. Gwendolyn K. Henley was born on February 18th, 1955 to Walter and Betty Henley in Memphis, Tennessee. Gwen had an older brother, an older sister, and a younger brother. Both her parents worked as general surgeons. And not only her mother was a doctor, but she was also a homemaker, raising all 4 of her kids. She would attend Memphis State University, where she would get a master's degree in nutrition. Then, after she graduated college, Gwen worked as a consultant. And later, she would work as a member of the faculty in the Memphis State University, where she was also a student. Then on January 1986, Gwendolyn Henley married David Shamblin. 5 years later, she would have her son Michael in 1991. After she had her son Michael, she would have her daughter Elizabeth 2 years later in 1994. She would have stuck to her original job because she started to turn evil. Then one day, she took her experience with her work for years as a registered dietitian and created the Way Down workshop. She originally started the program in Memphis, Tennessee, while she was working out of her house. Later, that whole program that Shamblin created would become a book that would sell literally over 1.2 million copies in 1997. The book would become a big success. The book it was unforgettable. It was a hit nationwide. Gwen would get the recognition throughout the United States. Then she started making public appearances. However, she wouldn't be validated worldwide, even though Shamblin would have recognition in the United States, here in the United States. The Way Down book would be about dieting, nutrition, and prayer. That's right. It had a blend of Christianity in it, like I just mentioned. Then Gwen Shamblin introduced the Way Down program to all churches throughout the 1990s. By 1994, she had her workshop to at least 600 churches. But on January 1995, the whole program extended to about 1,000 churches in the United States, UK, and Canada. And by July 1996, there would be around 5,000 churches that she had brought the Way Down workshop to. Then she had introduced the project approximately 30,000 churches. But when 15 years went by, all the Christian organizations started distancing from themselves from Gwen. Each and every spiritual leader in those churches thought Gwen features was not within their practices and would condemn her methods. The Lifeway Christian Store discontinued all of Shamblin's books and refused to carry them ever again. Her work caused so much controversy, her doctrine was not expected in there within any of the churches, and didn't want to have anything to do with anything that her program offered. And all the mainstream churches started pushing her out altogether. Around 1999, when Gwen opened the Remnant Fellowship church with her partner, David Shamblin, who was her husband at the time, would help her open it. Then after 40 years of marriage, she would divorce David Shamblin and get engaged to Joe Lar. And 2 months after her marriage to David went through, she would marry Joe. After everyone saw that wedding, they all called her a hypocrite and was so angry with her that all of them left her church because she thought marriage was a lifetime commitment and was against divorce. Then she went from Gwen Shamblin to Gwen Shamblin Lara and would start to live with Joe. And here's the thing. Yeah. I don't think she thought that David lived up to her standards. And her daughter, Elizabeth Shamblin, tried to live up to hers. But is it working? I should have posted up the picture, but didn't. Why do I do these things? I don't know. The Remnant Fellowship would be revealed as a cult, and the people in it would be the members. By then, the cult guru completely took over Gwen's life, and she really wanted to be the leader of that church. She did the most weirdest thing since she started to be a leader. And she did she actually was popping on the most strangest media platform. No, yeah, she was hopping on and off each and every media platform that there was. But at that time, the internet was practically getting close to the sophistication back then. Into today, it started being so sophisticated that anyone can get pop on it. But when it was getting close to sophisticated, I guess people didn't really know about her. Okay. And she would complain if even anyone gained an ounce of their weight back. And she'll make people feel guilty about it. That's right, she would fat shame people who gained weight or gained the weight back, whatever. Gwen would also give people advice, but however, she never liked to take advice from anybody herself. Then when it came to disciplining a child, Gwen pulled out all the stops when she gave advice about disciplining a child. A little boy named Joseph Smith was killed when his parents beat him with advice coming from Gwen. Shamblin Lara. She had reportedly gave advice by beating him with a glue stick and pushing both the little boy's parents over the edge by letting it escalate. They let it escalated to violence. The boy died instantly, then later was found with several injuries inflicted onto the young child. Both his parents, Sonia and Joseph Smith, was charged for his murder. They were tried and was found guilty of assaulting the child that eventually led to his death. In her Remnant Fellowship church, Gwen would control and dictate all the members of her congregation. But however, back to the little boy's death. The police started questioning her methods and her advice that she gave. And they couldn't find any evidence linking her to that little boy's death, even though she told her followers to use that kind of discipline on a child. So they had to drop the investigation towards her. In her Remnant Fellowship church, Gwen would control and dictate all the members of her congregation. She would do that by tracking each and every one of their weight. And if they gain an ounce of the weight of any of her, if they gain back any of the weight that any of the weight that they lost, she would throw a fit. Then Shamblin Lara would also tell them what they should wear and how they should wear it. And at the same time, like every other cult, including Scientology, she would brainwash everyone that was in her congregation. And she did that each and every time she had her services. Then she had considered herself to be some kind of prophet. On May 29th, 2021, Gwen Shamblin Lara and her husband Joe Lara got into a plane crash. Six other members of her church accompanied them on their plane ride. No one survived that plane crash. Even though their remains were never recovered, they would have a remembrance day for them. Gwen Shamblin Lara would be remembered for being infamous. Throughout the early 90s till the early 2000s, Gwen Shamblin would be well known for being a diet guru, where nevertheless Gwendolyn J. Henley was born on February 18th, 1955 to Walter and Betty in Memphis, Tennessee, along with her two brothers and sisters. But however, it wouldn't be validated worldwide, even though Shamblin would have recognition here in the United States on her Way Down book. Overall, her work caused so much controversy. Her doctrine was expected within their faith and didn't want to have anything to do with it. That's right. It sounded like she was taking charge of it, but Church wasn't hers. Then all in all, around Gwen opened the Remnant Fellowship Church with her partner, David Shamblin, which she was married to at that time. Then after 40 years of marriage, she would divorce David Shamblin and would marry Joe Lara. But by then, the cult guru completely took over Gwen's life, and she really wanted to be the leader of that church. Where she would brainwash everyone that was in her congregation, and she would do that to each and every one of her disciples whenever she would have a service. Then finally, she had considered herself to be some kind of she would be survived by her 2 kids. And then in conclusion, that would be the story of Gwen Shamblin Lara. Now, I'm sorry I didn't have any clips today because, well, I was finished with this late. So that would be the reason. Well, tomorrow I'm going to bring you the arts and crafts segment tomorrow, which is Friday. That's right. We're going to kick back and relax. So, it's been 32 minutes. I'm going to call this a wrap. So, be here tomorrow, and I'll bring you my craft segment. So, remember to hit the like, press subscribe, and I'll definitely see you guys tomorrow.